the Moon by Freebird is a game that was released in 2011, marking it as probably the oldest pixelated RPG that I've ever played. And it's crazy how in its roughly decade lifespan, I've never heard about it until now, considering it's got amazing reviews, tons of awards, and even sequels years later to prove its success. But playing this game now, I can totally see why it is successful. Because even though it is old as it is, I can't remember the last time I played a game that is as heartwarming as this one. And I can't remember the last time I played a game that is as heartbreaking as this one. To the Moon follows two scientists, Neil and Eva, as they work for this organization called Sigmund Corporation. Sigmund, like Sigmund Freud, the psychologist dude known for the studies of the human brain. He's also known for the mass genocide of hundreds of eels. The Sigmund Corporation is a company consisting of trained professionals that have a very interesting job, in which these scientists use this special machine which allows them the ability to enter the memories of someone, as well as alter them. While this idea raises a lot of questions, this machine is the central part of the story, as it's what our two characters use throughout. In the beginning, Neil and Eva are called to this very old yet massive house on the side of a mountain lying next to a lighthouse, in which they've come to meet their patient, an elderly man named Johnny. The reason he's called to the Sigmund Corporation is because he's not in the best condition, and is not expected to live much longer. So as a final wish before he passes, he decides he wants to go to the moon. Or at least have a memory of going to the moon, so he can die believing that he did. If you think about it, their job is kind of like the Make-A-Wish Foundation, except on steroids and very morally ambiguous. The story itself is mostly nice. The main characters, Neil and Eva, are both very personable and quite a duo. Eva is very smart and practical by the book kind of person, very rational and sensible. And Neil is somewhat of an idiot, but like a cool and fun idiot. But while both are very interesting characters, they serve as a means to progress the main story, which is following Johnny's memories. This narrative is also unique in the way that it's told backwards. Because of this unconventional storytelling, it's up to us to try and understand why everything is the way it is, to put the pieces together. But most of his memories revolve around one single person, this lady named River. And what we can see is that she's very important to him, and that she plays a big part in his life. And it is shown that River was Johnny's significant other. But the game doesn't just straight up tell you, like, oh yeah, by the way, Johnny and River were partners, but instead slowly unveils everything to you as time goes on. We start with Johnny's most recent memory of him playing the piano alone and being distraught, then we skip to Johnny next to a grave, and to Johnny next to someone bedridden who he cares for. This is how the story is told, through slowly revealing everything to the player, allowing a more immersive experience. Now while this already seems to have a very somber tone, this feeling is not the entirety of the experience, because this game is not just about the sad parts of life, but rather it celebrates life as a whole, both through the good and bad. And there are a lot of good moments that happen as we go through his memories, and so many touching events between both River and Johnny. And while we never are given the opportunity to meet River in person, it's through Johnny's memories of her that she lives on, and that we can see how much she meant to him. That seeing the charming connection between the two through his memory is so diabetes-inducing sweet. And now I'm not one for romance. I've always disliked the whole lovey-dovey genre, and there's very few romances that I actually like. But in this game, seeing two people and how much they meant to each other is undeniably adorable. And other times, the game might not even take itself too seriously, and is a lot more laid back. That at times, through the dialogue and the actions of the characters, you can tell that the creators of this game were just genuinely having a fun time while making it. But in the end, it doesn't even take away from the story being told. And while I won't divulge all that is shown through Johnny's memories, as there are so many, each having their own impact, this game doesn't hold back on what it wishes to show. There are kind memories, funny memories, and intimate memories. But there are also bad ones, or memories of loss and grief, memories of unfortunate moments that are beyond their control, and moments that hurt. But they're memories nonetheless, that have shaped who Johnny is as a person, and it's both the good and bad memories that make him who he is. So if the memories we look back upon make us who we are, is it wrong to want to change them for a happier ending? I mean, the whole idea of this game is that these two scientists basically rewrite this person's memory to fulfill their wish of going to the moon, but in doing so completely abandon their original memories of who they truly were and memories of who they truly loved. I mean, going to the moon seems like a silly wish, especially if it comes at the cost of losing everything. But as you play, you'll realize the absolute weight and how much significance is actually behind Johnny's want to go to the moon. But is it still right to do such a thing to someone, to shape a false past? and even the world in this game finds this to be a controversial idea. I don't know, maybe truly the ending isn't any more important than the moments leading up to it. Now, the conclusion I won't spoil, but it's very bittersweet with how it wraps up Johnny's narrative, leaving both an impact on the player and even the two main characters. That even at the end of Johnny's story, Eva's and Neil's story still goes on in future games. Now, I can't talk about those games simply because I haven't played them, but being able to experience the life of someone with the ups and downs to this video game is so masterfully done, and concludes in a way that doesn't require you to play the sequel. But I know I inevitably will someday. And if any of this interests you, To the Moon is on Steam for $10. It often goes on sale because of how old it is. If you want to make a memory of this game, I, along with thousands of other people, highly recommend it. So check it out.